Now that produce planting transplanting is well underway, one of the first pests you're likely to encounter is adult whiteflies. Given the high numbers found on spring melons and cotton this summer, one would also expect whiteflies to be heavy on fall produce crops. Surprisingly, though, adult numbers have been lighter than expected on fall melons. For instance, here at the Yuma Agricultural Center, whitefly populations in our experimental plots based on vacuum samples taken this week are lower than what we have encountered in the past few years, like you can see in our graph. However, this appears to be site specific, as I've observed melon fields in Welton rural area. There are very high numbers this past week. This makes sense. Whitefly populations abundance can be influenced to a large extent by the crop landscape throughout Yuma. Crops planted near or adjacent to cotton and alfalfa are clearly more heavily infested than fields isolated away from these crops. In addition, our monsoon conditions often play a role where humidity and rainfall can influence population abundance. Nonetheless, you can bet heavily whitefly numbers will eventually show up in one of your fields. It is important that PCAs pay particular attention to early whitefly control on their newly planted produce crops. Prolonged feeding by heavy numbers of adults on seedling lettuce cole crops plants can cause stunted plant growth. If you observe honeydew on leaves in the absence of nymphs, then there are way too many adults on the seedling plant. There are likely too many eggs being laid as well. With the loss of endosulfan, growers have few options for effective residual control of adults, but good knockdown can be achieved on lettuce and cole crops with combinations of pyrethroid tang mixed with orthene, lanate, lordban, venom, scorpion, or sequoia. In addition, Xrel, the foliar formulation of Cyazypyr, was recently labeled for use on produce crops and can provide excellent adult control. Sometimes it can be difficult to determine whether a product is working 3 to 4 days following application when adult whiteflies are continuously moving into your field from outside sources. To assess adult control under heavy migrations, try monitoring young leaves for the presence of light-colored eggs newly laid using a hand lens. Absence of newly laid eggs can be an indication that adults are not actively feeding on leaves or are dying before they can lay eggs. Furthermore, allowing adults to remain unchecked on small plants generally results in the development of large nymph populations that can cause significant growth yield reductions in all produce crops. It is strongly recommended that growers apply a soil insecticide on lettuce or cole crops through September and early October. Local research has shown that imidacloprid applied at 0.25 pounds AI to the acre at planting provides less residual control of nymphs today than it did 10 years ago. However, given the current economics of imidacloprid, cost-effective whitefly control can still be achieved by using higher rates of imidacloprid at 0.38 pounds AI per acre. To extend residual control, like Alias 2F 24 ounces, Wrangler 4F 12 ounces, Admire Pro 10.5 ounces. Verimark, the soil formulation of Cyazypyr applied at 13.5 ounces per acre, can provide excellent control of nymphs when applied at planting, similar to the neonicotinoids to lettuce and cole crops. Once plants get larger, products like Movento, Xrel, Venom, Scorpion, Assail, NAC, and Courier or Vedica can provide effective control of nymphs. For more information on whitefly biology management and insecticide alternatives, see the report Whitefly Management and Fall Produce in our website. Insect Management on Desert Vegetable and Melons, Whitefly. Thank you.